Hi guys, for today's session we'll need our belt, so just grab your jiu-jitsu belt. We'll use it for some shoulders and hip stretches, and in between we'll do a bit of hamstrings, spine, and maybe something for the hips as well. I'm sitting on a yoga block, but you can take a pillow or a book or whatever you have. The reason why I like to sit on a block at the beginning is that helps me to keep the spine straight. So just begin here, sitting with crossed legs or whatever way is comfortable for you. Roll your shoulders down and close your eyes. Just take a moment to land here. Focus on your sit bones pressing down on the floor or on your support. Feel your spine straight, the shoulders down and relaxed. Your hands resting on your knees and the feet or your ankles pressing down on the floor. And just notice for a moment, where is your breath? Are you feeling your breath in your belly? Are you feeling it high in your chest? Is it somewhere in between? Or is it maybe difficult for you to identify where your breath is? Which is also fine. There's nothing wrong here. It's just about noticing and just paying attention to where your breath is. And if it's nowhere to be found, believe me, it is there. We'll focus a bit more on where we're breathing. And we'll start just right now. So start focusing on your belly. Maybe you can place your right hand on your belly, your left hand on your chest. And take a deep inhale, push your belly out. So feel your right hand rising and falling. Breathing in deeply into the belly and out. Just keep on going. Try to keep the left hand, the hand on the chest, try to keep it still. You're sitting up straight, shoulders down, just the belly goes out and in. And try in today's session to just focus on your breath as much as possible. And maybe it can help to just follow a simple count in your head. So just follow my count for now, and then you'll continue by yourself. So inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause for a moment. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for a moment. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Just keep on going by yourself. Count up to 4 and count down from 4 to 1. And it's 4 counts. It doesn't have to be 4 seconds. So if the way I'm doing it is too fast for you or too slow, you feel free to speed it up or slow it down. Just if you have a busy day ahead, don't slow it down too much because it might make you sleepy. And then while sitting here, just grab your belt. You can fold it in 2, or if you need more length, just keep it open. Grab it at the extremities, wide enough so that you can comfortably go all the way back and then come forward. If you notice that you start to kind of have to go with one shoulder first and then the other, then you went too tight, you need to bring your hands wider. And just start bringing your belt forward and back. Maybe inhale when you bring it back and you open your chest. And exhale when you bring it forward. Follow your count, you don't have to go in my rhythm. do a few more. This is something that you can do anytime if you arrive early for a class or before an open mat or before a competition. All these bell stretches are, I find them really good because they're very simple. So while I keep talking, bring your hands closer and just let them hang here behind. So they're not straight on top of my head. I open my arms enough that my hands can hang backwards, but not so much that they will flip down. And my shoulders are down, so don't cover your ears with your shoulders. Keep your shoulders down, shoulder blades down. And try to just hang here, relaxing as much as possible and still focusing on your count. So I was saying, even if you're early for a class or before an open mat, before a competition, try just to remember a few of these stretches. They help you getting in the mood because you're using your belt. It can also be a nice escape during your day. Just get your jiu-jitsu belt and use it for a couple of minutes. And it's a great way to release your shoulders and hips. And you can also experiment. If you find something interesting, just let me know and we can maybe look at it together. Okay, then from here, bring your arms up and start making small circles with your hands. So vertical circles, like you are in a kayak, but then it's actually, the water is on top of it. So we went before for movement of the shoulders front and back, and now we're working more on the rotation. You can switch direction, it will feel a bit weird. And then keep the left arm up and right arm goes behind diagonally. So let me show you from a different angle. My left arm is up, my right arm is going towards the back and about 45 degrees from my shoulder. And then switch, right arm up, left arm back, and hang here. So the gravity through the belt pulls your shoulder open. So gravity on the left hand is pulling down, and because of the belt, you pull down the right shoulder as well. And release, maybe shake out your shoulders. If you're still sitting with crossed legs and that's uncomfortable, you can come sitting on your heels or whatever way feels good for you. And then bring the belt up again and start going from side to side. Keep on breathing. Keep the rhythm in your head. Stop here and start twisting. Try to keep your arms where they are. Of course, they will move a bit, but the idea is not that we're just moving the arms front and back. We're twisting from the spine. And then bring the right arm up, let the belt hang behind your back. Catch it with the other hand. And just start moving up and down. And maybe when you go up, you can pull a bit more. And same feeling when you go down. Trying to create mobility for the shoulders. And then stop here. See if you can bring your hands a little bit closer. Maybe you can bring them all the way together, or you can still use the belt. And just hang here. Keep on breathing slow and deep. And slowly release. We go for the other side. So left arm up, let the belt hang behind your back. Catch it with the other hand. And start brushing your back. So one hand pulls down, one hand pulls up. Try to keep your neck neutral. Shoulders are down, they're not covering your neck and ears. And then again, bring your hands maybe a little bit closer and hold here. Try to keep your elbow, the elbow is on top, try to keep it as much as possible perpendicular to the ground. Of course, that depends on your shoulder mobility. If this is the maximum where your shoulder goes, then, then that's what we have to work with today. But try with time to open up your shoulder here and bring it up. So straight up, it's also not going here to the side. And you have the belt today, so you just use it to make your life easier. And slowly release. And just put the belt aside for a moment. We'll use it later. If you had a block or a pillow, they would also, that also on the side. And just come in turtle. So walk forward with your hands. Your belly resting on the legs. Just place your forehead on the floor and relax here. Feel your shoulders stretching a little bit. Maybe your lower back as well. Feel that when you try to push your hips to your heels, your lower back stretches a bit more. And then come up to hands and knees. And flip your hands so your palms are on the ground and the fingers are pointing towards the knees. You can decide how close or how far from the knees you stay. The closer you are, the easier it is. The farther away, the more intense the stretch will be. So just find the spot that is fine for you. And just start moving here from side to side. Shoulders always away from the ears. And then front and back. Just trying here to release the wrists a little bit and the muscles in the forearm. And then just make some small circles, freestyle a bit. Just feel for yourself what feels good. And don't push too much. The wrist is it's a sensitive joint. So if you feel any pain, and this is valid actually now for any other joint or any other movement, an intense stretch is fine, but it should never be so much that you need to hold your breath. And it should never be pain. So if something is painful, so let's say I realize here that my right wrist is really not happy here. Okay, then I try to adapt. Does it help if I bring my hands closer to the knees? Maybe a little bit, but not fully. Okay. Does it help if I turn my hand a little bit? Maybe bring in the index instead of pointing toward my knee a bit more. towards the plant I have there. Yeah, this actually helps. Okay, then I start like this. And I start releasing here, and then maybe after a couple of days, I will be able to turn my hand again and then work on a different muscle. So it's not that an angle is right or an angle is wrong. We're just changing the muscles we are acting the most on. So it will always be fine. It just depends on which muscle you want to target. And if there's something specific, then you need to find a specific location. And if it's just to get loose, well, then there will always be a little bit of tension somewhere. So just feel where you need it the most. And here, slowly lift up and just flip your hands. So the fingers still pointing towards the knees, but the back of the hand on the floor. This will feel a little bit intense at the beginning, but it's quite relieving. And we're just compensating. So we push the wrist down. So we flex it on one side, and we're now doing the exact opposite, so compensating. Okay, sit back on your hips and just shake your hands. Maybe make circles. Maybe release the wrist a bit. And then back to hands and knees. And here, try to keep your hips right on top of the knees, your shoulders right on top of the hands. It will look different depending on how your body is shaped, but try to have this more or less square between your body and the floor. And here, just start looking up, dropping your belly down, arching your back. And exhale, push with your hands and knees. Try to push your belly button as far away from the floor as possible and drop your head down. And just keep on going. Inhale up, exhale round. Inhale, look up. Remember, just follow your breath. I'm just giving a cue here, but you can go faster or slower. Exhale round. Just try to feel your back. Inhale up, shoulders down, shoulder blades together, shoulders away from your ears. And exhale round here. Actually, you can bring your shoulders forward and pull your shoulder blades apart. Let's do just two more here. And here, you can keep on doing this, just up and down. If you feel like trying something different, you can add some forward and back movement. So you sit back on your heels. Try not to slide your hands too much forward, so keep them close. And from here, rounding your back and exhaling, come forward. You stop on top of the shoulders, drop your belly and go back. So exhale here. If you feel that you need more space, move your hands a little bit and back. For those who are not afraid of down dog, an option is also to point your toes and start from your hips. So you lift, round, and then come back. Okay, just do a few more of whatever option feels better for you. And then from here, stop in the middle again. And we're going to the side. So I inhale, look up, then I push my ribs towards one side, then I push my ribs up, and then to the other side. So I'm basically moving my chest. Maybe if I go to the side, it looks better. So let's just make circles with your with your back. I'm not just going up and down, I'm going in circles, like rotating around the axis, but that goes from my head to my hips. And if this doesn't make any sense, just move around. That will be good enough. And then switch direction. And I try to make movement start like from the middle of my back. It's not that my hips are moving. Of course, the hips will move a bit because they are attached to the spine, but the idea is not that I'm just rotating my hips and then there comes a bit of movement in the back. The movement starts from the back. Remember to keep the shoulders down and away from your ears. And focus on your breath. Okay, and then from here still, hips on top of the knees. Walk forward with your hands forward, forward, forward until your forehead can rest on the ground. And here we'll do a similar thing, but we will now create movement in the upper back. So I inhale here with the forehead on the ground, and I exhale, I put the top of my head on the floor. Let me show you without hands so you see what my head is doing. Inhale and come to the forehead, or if you have space you can go to the nose or to the chin. Exhale around, but I keep my hands forward so I have a bit more freedom to move, or a bit more leverage. Inhale and exhale, forehead or nose or chin or chest down. Inhale round. Exhale flat. Just be mindful here for your neck. Don't push too much, especially in the opening. If when you're on your forehead you already feel a bit of tension, then just stay there. If you need a bit more, you can try to open a bit more, but just be careful that you don't feel any pinching in your neck. Just do a few more rounding and opening. And then here, lift your hips up and step your right foot between your hands. I keep my hips on top of the knee and I walk forward with my hands and back. So there's different ways of doing this exercise. You can either try to push a lot forward, and it's fine because I have my hands on the floor, so there's not too much load on my ankle and knee. And then when I walk back, I sit all the way back. If I have the space with my hamstring, or if it stops here, then I'll stop here. Or I can try to keep my foot more forward and just go forward and back, keeping my hips on the floor, on top of the knee. Just keep on going, whatever way you prefer. With the variation where you go a bit more towards the front, and the stretch will be more intense for the front of the left hip. If you just stay here, then work is a bit more on the hamstring, although it goes on the hamstring and the other one as well. And then just stay here in the front, hands on the ground, point your back toes. You can stay with your fingers or your fists on the ground, or your hands if your hands are happy there. And just lift your knee and try to kick your heel down, away, down and away, and over, down, up, and down, up. Squeeze your left glute and down. One more, and down. And then from here, bring both hands in the inside of the right foot. Move the foot a bit more towards the outside, maybe pointing towards the right. And just stay here. Hands under the shoulders. Try to find an angle where you see more or less. And you can stay here. So this can be quite intense already. The idea is that you're trying to bring your hips down between your hands. So you're not here. Here we're not doing much. Try to keep the hips pushing forward and down. And you can stay here. This is totally fine. Or another option, if you want to go a bit further, is to keep your right hand or your left hand right under the shoulder. With the right arm, make a big circle and open your chest. So this is the most important thing, that you open your chest and keep pushing the hips forward. So I'm not doing this because here I lose everything. Open and stay here. And if it comes, you can bring your foot and just catch it with your hand and kick the foot away. So the foot is opening my chest. You can, there's different ways of grabbing the foot, just feel whatever feels better for you. My hips are still dropping down and the foot is opening my chest. If you don't reach your foot, you can grab your belt and make your arms slightly longer by using the belt here, or you can also just stay here, or in the first option, whatever feels good. You decide what your body needs today. Okay, slowly release. If you have your foot, release it slowly back with the hands on the floor. Sit on your heels and just bump a few times. And we'll do the other side. So step the left foot between your hands. And again, same thing, walking forward and back. You decide if you want to push more towards the front, working a lot on the hips as well, or if for today working on hamstrings is enough. And then just stay a bit more forward with the foot and keeping the hips on top of the knee. Just keep on going forward and back. Hands on either side of the foot. Keep your hands or your fists or whatever feels nice. Point the right toes and lift your knee. Kick with the heel. You want to reach back, so engage your glute. Super strong with the legs and release down. Shoulders away from your ears. Lift and down. If it's difficult for you to reach the floor, just keep on going. If it's difficult for you to reach the floor, you can, and if you have a couple of these at home or whatever that looks more or less similar, you have a couple of dictionaries, they work perfectly fine for this. You can use it to stay a bit higher. Just understand that if something feels incredibly difficult, then you can for sure find a way to adapt it to the way your body, to a way so that your body feels better. The idea is not to suffer like hell through this 45 minutes. The idea is that we are helping the body to release. And if today I'm completely stiff and I need to have the block very high, well then I have the block very high. Imagine I have two and I just keep on going here. Totally up to you to adapt to in a way that your body feels good. And then move the foot, the left foot slightly towards the outside, hands on the floor, and just push your hips forward like you want to reach with the hips down to the floor. If you lost it or if you forgot about it, go back to the counting in your head. 4 counts on the inhale, 4 counts on the exhale. Try to inhale and exhale through your nose. And if that's possible for you, try to breathe loud enough so that you can at least yourself, you can hear your own breathing. Sorry, I got stuck in the sentence, but you get what I mean. Okay, and same thing on this side. You can stay here. You probably notice that I'm moving around because this feels quite nice in a hip stretch, at least for me. I really like to bounce a bit front or side to side. If you want to stay here, perfectly fine. If you want to get more, you can keep the right arm straight under the shoulder, so I don't have to work with my arm. It's just like a pillar. I keep my hips pushing down exactly the way they are. Big circle with the left arm, and I see if I can find my foot. If I don't find it, if it's too far or I start cramping, well, then I can loop my foot or ask somebody to help you getting the foot here, and just hold here. Try to keep your arm back and straight, so don't stay here because there's too much contraction. Just hold it here, and maybe with time the bell will get shorter and shorter, and then at some point you can catch your foot. But just keep with the hip going down. This is nothing, just contortionism. Here we are working on here, and if you're not this low, you're a bit higher, that's also fine. What counts is your intention of pushing the hip forward. And slowly release, slowly let your foot go down. Back to turtle or child pose, whatever way you like to call this. And just jump around a little bit with your hips, just releasing them. And keep the bell, because we'll now focus on hip stretch using the bell. So I'll come down to the floor. Find the most elegant way to sit down on the ground. I'll save you a couple of push-ups here and there. And around, and bring the belt around your feet. I like to place it around the ball of the feet, the ball of the toes. I don't know what I'm saying, but you get what I mean, right here. So you can get a nice calf stretch as well. And just hang it here. Your knees can be bent, they don't have to be all the way straight. And actually from here, let's start bending the knees a bit more. And trying to extend them a bit more. Flex and extend. Keep the heels like, it's like with the heels you want to reach the ceiling. Flex and extend. You can loop the belt around your hand so you don't have to work on your grip. Unless you want to work on your grip. Then this is a perfect moment to multitask. And extend. One more. Bend the knees and extend, keep them. Extend and push the heels back. If they're not all the way extended and you're a bit more here, that's also fine. And then release, keep the right foot on the belt on the right hand. And just let the foot drop towards the right side. You have the belt, so you decide how far you go. You can go all the way down, keep it up, and with the left knee you can open it towards the side so you're balancing, you're not just collapsing on one side. Or if you don't have a wall in front of you like I do, you can just extend the leg forward and then work a bit more on the hip flexors as well. And just try here to relax, focus on your breath. See where you're feeling it. If you feel a sharp pain on the inside of the knee, then you're going too far. make the belt a little shorter. Don't put unnecessary stress, tension on your knee. We want to work on the inner thigh. It's never good to put stress on the joints. We do it enough in our training. This is not the place for that. And you can close your eyes if it feels good. And then from here, slowly, slowly bring the foot up, change hands. So belt goes around the left hand and let it drop to the other side. So I'm twisting here. Up to you if you want to keep the left leg pointing right straight. I cannot show you that because I have a wall, but I guess you can figure it. Or you can bring the left knee under the right one and then have a different stretch. Just feel what's good for you. And also if this feels too intense, having the leg straight, you can also bend the knee and forget about holding it here. But if you can work with this variation, it can be something interesting to try. I'm looking towards my right hand, trying to keep my shoulders down on the floor. And you probably, unless you're very flexible here, you probably have to decide, okay, do I keep my right shoulder on the floor or the foot on the ground? Up to you, one or the other, or maybe you can balance in between. That can also be nice. And then slowly, slowly bring the leg up and then switch foot, belt around the left foot. Keep the belt with the left hand and just open it to one side. Just relax here. Same as before, the right leg can stay straight forward. You can keep the foot on the ground and the knee open to the side to help you balancing. And if you collapse, also fine, just come back up. Unless you have the space to fully extend, then that will also be fine. And then at that point, what you want to work on is bringing the foot a little higher. And then slowly switch, bring the foot up, catch it with the other hand, and twist here. So try to keep my left shoulder down on the floor, open the left leg towards the right, and then look towards my left hand. Just keep on focusing on your breath. 4 counts on the inhale, 4 counts on the exhale. And then slowly, slowly come up again. Up to you if you want to keep the belt or release it. Maybe let's start with the belt and then we see how it goes. So belt around the feet. Doesn't matter now, it can be around at the middle of the foot. Grab the sides of the belt and try to push the knees towards you while keeping as much as possible the hips on the ground. If it's getting complicated with the belt, you can just catch the feet, bring the arms on the inside of the knees. Sorry, black on black, it's not very clear, but my arms are inside my knees, and then I catch the outside of my feet and I just drop here. So the idea would be to keep the hips down on the floor and the feet pointing up. As you can see, I cannot demonstrate that so well, so I'll try here to just work on pushing my knees down, and eventually I hope one day my hips will also get down on the floor. Or what I could do is to do the same using the belt. One more breath here, deeply in and fully out. And then release the belt, let it go. And just hug your knees and squeeze yourself. Squeeze tight, and then you can start rolling forward and back. And up to you. You can just keep rolling, totally fine. Or if it feels good for you, and if you have enough space behind you, you can just drop backwards. If you do, make sure that the weight is on your shoulders and not on your head and neck so much. As you can see, this morning I'm not at my best. My back is quite stiff, so I don't reach the floor, and that's fine. Maybe if we stay here for a couple of minutes, my feet will go down, but that's also not, it doesn't say anything. We work with what we have every day, and if your feet reach the floor, then you can interlace your hands and open even more. Or if they don't reach the floor, then keep your hands on your hips to support your back and try to relax here. Keep on breathing although you're all compressed. If you can breathe here, you can breathe when somebody is pressing hard and squeezing you. It will still be shit, but at least you can breathe, stay calm, and think of what are your best options. And then from here, bring your hands on the floor, fingertips on the ground. Push the knees towards your face, and slowly, slowly, slowly rounding your back. Count one vertebra at a time, all the way down to the floor. You can just move your knees from side to side, massaging your lower back. And then holding your knees, roll up. Come sitting again, same way as we started. Cross legs or whatever other way feels good for you. You can grab your block again, or your dictionary, or whatever you're using. Place your hands on your knees and just take a moment to feel how your body is doing. Shoulders down. And I have two options for you here. If this is the end of the day for you and you're about to go to bed, or you can relax, then I would say you can do like 5 rounds of the same breathing we did at the beginning. Inhaling for 4 counts, exhaling for 4 counts, just counting it, just focusing on this for 5, 10, 20 times, as much as you feel like. Or if you're doing this class just before training, or in the morning, or you have still a busy day ahead, then just follow me. We're gonna do breath of fire, which is an activating breath. So we've done quite a slow flow, which can make us feel a bit sleepy and out of space, bit in the bubble, and this brings us up back into focus. So the idea is that we exhale strongly through the nose, pushing the belly in. So I push my belly button in and I exhale. Imagine like there's a football coming into your belly, and you exhale and then you relax. And the idea is that in between the exhales, we relax completely so the air can flow in again, and we don't end up completely out of breath. So I'll count it for you. I'll count about 20 repetitions. So just take a deep breath in, fully out. Inhale halfway. Exhale, 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 exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax your face, your shoulders. Let your breath go back to normal. I'll do the second round turn, so maybe you can see my belly moving. Okay, so deep breath in, fully out. Inhale halfway. Exhale, 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 exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax your face, your shoulders. And again, if I'm going too fast or too slow, you can adapt. You can do it at your own rhythm. Or if 20 repetitions is too much, then you can do 10. That's also fine. Just listen to your body. Your body knows what you need better than I do. Okay, last round. Deep breath in, fully out. Inhale halfway. Exhale, 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 exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just relax here for a moment. Maybe notice your lips are getting a little tingly, or your fingers. Maybe you have just a nice quiet in your head. If that's the case, feel free to just press pause on the video and just stay in that state. And if you want to get forward with your day, just take a breath in, and maybe do one last twist, one last stretch. Thank you for joining. I hope you liked it. Sorry for my stumbling into words all the time. I didn't get too many right and left wrong today, so that's an achievement, but I got lost in other words. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. See you soon.